so today I want to talk about Fangirl by ROWELL. I read this book a few months ago and I never did a book discussion-y video about it, which I need to start doing more of these videos. I really like them. I love talking about books with you guys. So I'm going to go back to some books that I read this year and make videos about them, this being the first one as I read it again recently. I love this book so much. So much. It's about a girl called Kath who has just gone to university. She's a twin and her twin has gone with her. Ren is the name of her twin, and Kath is very sort of shy and socially awkward and anxious. She doesn't really like going out. I have never related more to a character than I did to her, and I loved it so much, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't read it. So it's just her at uni and exploring all of, you know, this stuff, and she likes to write fan fiction, and she just likes to stay on the internet, and I love her. I loved this book. Please go and read it if you haven't, and also if you haven't read it, instead of watching this video, go and read it because I will be spoiling it, and I don't want to do that because it's an amazing book and I want you to experience it as you're reading it. So go and read it and then come back and then we'll discuss it. If you have read it, stick around and let's have a chat about it. Kath is such a relatable character. She starts uni or college in America and she's really awkward and anxious, and she prefers just to stay on the internet and read a book and write fan fiction, and she is me. And I just finished my first year of uni and I read it. I read this first time back in like February, and it's me. I don't like going out like to clubs or to parties, and I'm really awkward around new people, and I don't do well with it. And I was like, she understands. She writes a lot of fan fiction for the Simon Snow books, which is basically like Harry Potter, like for her, which I loved, and I loved that because that's also a relatable thing with all of these series that I love so much, and like that I've grown up with and that I wrote fan fiction for, and they go to the book release and everyone's talking about it, and it's not just, you know, and she gets really emotional because it's like the last book. And I reread this after I just reread City of Heavenly Fire, like Saint Clair, which is the final book in the Mortal Instruments. And I remember going into the shop and getting it and being really emotional that this series was over, and like this thing that has been such a massive part of my life is now ended. And I was like, she understands, like it's so yeah, I really liked her creative writing class versus fan fiction, because I've always had that struggle, because it can be really difficult if you write fan fiction to write then original stuff, because you're so used to being in this other world that already exists and all of these things exist, that to suddenly then make your own, it's very difficult. And I understand that, I relate to that, I know how hard that is. I write a lot and I'm trying to write my own book and it's coming along nicely, but to write your own story is really hard, and to invent like a whole world is very difficult. And she did, and that sort of came across. She wasn't like a superstar amazing writer that can just write anything. She struggled a lot and she wanted to give up and she didn't want to do it, and it was very realistic and very relatable, because that is, things can be very stressful and uni isn't easy, and I liked that a lot. Let's talk about Levi. Levi is her roommate's like ex-boyfriend. I thought they were together, and then when he starts like being really friendly with Kath, I thought he was just being really friendly, and then her roommate Regan's just like, he's like that with everybody, so I was like, oh, okay, then he's probably just being friendly, he's just like that with everyone. And then he like kisses her, and I'm like, okay, but then they're not actually dating, and that was kind of cool. I liked that they were still like really good friends and stuff, Levi and Regan. And then when Kath reads to him, that was so cute and so sweet. And then Regan comes in the next day and she's like, I'm fine with it, I'm cool with it, but we're not going to discuss any of these things. And that really made me laugh. I like her, she's so sort of, she's cool. Kath Kath's sister Ren. First of all, her sister also writes the fanfiction with her and will help her with it. And her sister's fanfiction username is Renegade. Why didn't I ever think that one? Ren is a lot more outgoing, and she drinks a lot and she parties a lot and she has a boyfriend and she's like done all of these things that Kath doesn't want to do and is like scared about doing and is kind of a bit awkward about doing. And I think that Ren is, you always know a Ren. You always know someone that's like that is always willing to do all of these crazy things and all these cool new things, and I really like characters like that. And I wish that I could be more like that. She did annoy me sometimes, like when she was drinking a lot and sort of a bit out of control with that, and they were trying to tell her to like, whoa, like calm down, and she just wasn't. But I did really like her character and her kind of attitude to life and all that kind of thing. I really did like Levi as a character. The only time that it really sort of irritated me was, I'm sure you'll know, is when she goes to the party and he's making out with somebody else even though he's invited her there. It sucks and it's horrible. It's like you get such that like sinking feeling in your stomach and it's crap, and it was kind of annoying. But then he made it up to her and he really liked her, and you could tell that he really liked her, and it wasn't just like, it was obvious. When he drove to the hospital for Ren, he drove her home and he did all of these things and he was like making sure that she was okay, and he was like going at her pace and he knew what she was like, and it was just so sweet and cute and I just loved it so much. Their mum though, Laura, I didn't like her. When your child is in hospital, even if you do not see that child, like she's talking to her, they've been texting and phoning, and I think her and Ren might have met up. Kath doesn't want anything to do with her and I don't blame her. Your teenage daughter is in hospital and you're not gonna stick around to see if she's okay. Like, and I really liked that Kath wasn't having it. Like, she wasn't having any of it. She wasn't willing to just come and play Happy Families and be like, yeah, okay, Mom, you haven't seen me since I was a child, but come on, come back into my life, get involved. She was like, I don't want to see you, no. And when she's in that waiting room at the hospital and she's saying, if you walk out, this is it, like you're not, that's it, don't you dare, how can you walk out on your kid? And I was like, yes, go on Kath, yes. I did not like Nick. Didn't like him at all. Oh, he's so, like, they worked together on that story and it was pretty much her story, and then like the teacher even knows that it's her story and he's still trying to get her to do the whole thing for his competition or whatever it is that he wants to enter. But you know, she handled that really well. She was like, no, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't feel right putting my name on something. I liked Kath's entire, like, the way she looks after her dad and she goes home and like makes sure that he's okay, and she does these things with him, and it's so cute. And and I think that the relationship between Kath and Ren and the fact that they did everything together and then they didn't is very relevant to quite a lot of friendships. When you go off to uni, they're going to meet new people and they are different people, and I think that's a very like universally relatable thing, and that can happen with relationships, but you make it work, and they did, and it ends really nice and happy, and I loved it, and it was really good. And I haven't read a book in a while that's made me be like, oh, that's nice, and it was good and I liked it. This book just had some of the best quotes as well. It's like when they're talking about the internet and she's like, you don't like the internet? That's like saying I don't like things that are convenient. Favourite quote though wasn't a funny one, and it was definitely one of the most relatable, and I loved it very much, and it's one of my favourite, like top favourite book quotes, and that's, I'm scared of everything and I'm crazy. Like, maybe you think I'm a little crazy, but I only let people see the tip of my crazy iceberg. Underneath this veneer of slightly crazy, socially inept, I'm a complete disaster. I love that. Just some of the things about Fangirl. What were your thoughts about this book? Let me know in the comment section. I like the comments. Let's talk. I hope that you guys liked this video, and I hope that you guys liked this book as much as I did. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!